good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Davidson D Safe Zone. Welcome. On today's episode in the Safe Zone, we have Kelly Duren-Jones. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for accepting. As usual, this is the Safe Zone. You you can be as vulnerable as you want to. Um, please be um, as vulnerable to help someone unlearn the process. That's what the safe zone is about. Helping to unlearn something so that we can move forward. But God has given me 10 questions for you. And yes. I'm grateful for these questions. And we'll get started. The first question is, or before I get started with the questions, I want, I didn't ask God about this. Let me think right quick. What? Let's wait. And you'll give all of your information at the end of the questions. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So the first question is, what is your greatest accomplishment?
Good question.
Thank God.
My greatest accomplishment is allowing God to use me in everything. My personal life, my business life, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a friend. There was a time when I was so sheltered or so secluded to myself because I didn't know who I was or that I could help anybody or be any assistance to anybody, that I didn't try to. I just felt for a long time, I felt like a failure in a lot of relationship aspects. But when I learned who I am through him, I was able to be what he needed me to be and not worry about what I thought I needed to be. So my greatest accomplishment is allowing God to use me in every area.
Nice. Nice. In learning to allow God to use you, did you find that He had gifted you with a lot?
I'm still amazed at the gifts that I see pouring out of me unexpectedly
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
because I know that, we all have gifts. I always thought mine was to be behind somebody or behind the scene. And it turns out I'm supposed to be in the front. Who knew?
I know. I know. Yes. I kind of feel like that's what Davidson D is. I like the back. I like I
I'm
do.
comfortable there. Yeah.
I'm comfortable there. And it's like them each time it's like move like wait a minute, wait, I feel like I'm getting
Mm.
closer to the front. I don't like this. But yes, ma'am. Yes. So I can identify with that. Yes. Thank you for that.
Mm.
The second question is, what keeps you up at night?
Concern for um, my parents, concern for my family, my daughters, my children. I have bonus babies, so they all have their own life, but I know what's out here in the world, and so sometimes what keeps me up is as a mother being in a position where they have to figure it out on their own, and I can't do it for them.
Yes.
So that is one thing that keeps me up at night.
Yes, ma'am. A parent said this to me a while ago. She said, I thought when they were younger that I worried a lot, but I worry more that they're adults because I can't control their decisions anymore. I just
Mm.
have to help to support them through it. And it
Yeah,
was like, that makes sense.
it does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Um, I identify that concern as well. That's part of Davis and D's the safe zone. The concern just in the things that we were taught to do that we were didn't necessarily
mm,
benefit us.
true.
That we
But what I've learned is, and I really learned this when my daughter went away to college, that a lot of my concern for her was the things that I experienced in my life. It really wasn't her. It was me worried that not wanting her to experience the hurt and all the things that the world can bring. And what I realized is, um, I gave her everything that I could give her.
yes,
Um,
ma'am.
God is with her and with them, I should say. And I've done the best that I could do, even though I wasn't always right. So I have to learn to rest in that He's gonna take over from here because
Yes,
He was taking over all along. Yeah.
absolutely. It's giving up control or knowing that you don't have it.
Hmm.
That's the myth. That was my ultimate. Oh, hold on, I'm getting. That was the next question is when and what was your last aha moment?
Ooh, my last aha moment. I would say at the end of December, I, for the first time, experienced, I tested positive for COVID. And
Hmm.
um, I was like, okay, well, it's better now, and safer now, and 5 days, it'll be over. And I had all these things. 28 days later, I was like, Jesus, this is much longer than 5 days.
Hmm.
But my aha moment was when I was so sick that I had a whole, we said we weren't going to cry. I had a whole number of people that were dropping off food. I had flowers delivered. My husband was like, "Who's sending you flowers?" But I have to say, I don't have biological sisters, but God has blessed me with sisters. Like some of my cousins are my sisters, one in particular. And they were all just pouring into. They were calling, they were making all kind of concoctions for me and bringing all kind of things. But it just made me realize that how blessed I am. So many people don't have that. So many people can't. I didn't have to call and ask anybody for anything. Thank God my parents are, still around. They were there. It was just an outpour. Even my husband was like, "You got more food." But my aha moment was knowing that through God, He has given me everything I need, even when I can't even explain how sick I was, and I didn't need anything, didn't have to want for anything, and it was during the holidays, so that's the time when my family gets together. I missed Christmas, I missed New Year's, I missed all of that. Just that whole time, I was so sick, and
Wow,
so that was my last aha moment, knowing that He's gonna give me everything I need. He's already put people in position for me, and that's amazing.
it is. It is. That's amazing. I am glad you are well. I am glad you
Thank
are
you.
better. Um, do you have any what they call it long term COVID symptoms?
I do. I have some strange things happening that is just really strange, but it's nothing um, bad. It's nothing concerning. But yeah, it's like something changed in my DNA. I feel like,
Yes, yes.
but I'm blessed because I didn't. I take blood pressure medicine, so I was concerned about the things that could happen because of things that I was already experiencing, but I didn't. It didn't get bad in that way. I
Mhm.
just had some really strange things, like I lost my sight for a day. My eyes really hurt. It was just weird things. I broke all out everywhere. It was just really weird.
Wow.
Yeah. But I didn't have to have any hospital stays or breathing machine or no problems breathing or nothing like that. So I was blessed.
Yes, yes. And that you were listening to your body too.
Mm,
Absolutely. It's grateful.
yeah.
Great. I haven't experienced COVID. I am so grateful that
Okay.
I haven't. And if I have, I haven't tested positive, so I'm grateful.
Mm,
I'm grateful.
yeah. That's a blessing.
Especially working at a doctor's office now is like, ooh, I want to spray everybody with alcohol, but I'm not.
Oh, do it.
Well, I asked first if I do. But before I ask that question, I think my ultimate aha moment was that I'm not in control.
Mm,
And it was like, oh, wait a minute, God. I've been trying to tell you what to do. That's not how that works. You tell me what to do. I got it.
yeah.
I got it. Yes, absolutely. What motivates you outside of God?
What motivates me is seeing the other side of me. So the person that I am today is so different from who I was even 5 years ago. Even people who know me well are like, okay, you know. But I think knowing that even in the positions that I've been in, he's always been there. Um, I used to have a lot of pity parties for myself,
Mm,
but all I had to do was trust God, and the resources were there.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I met Kelly through her family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am your family motivates me. They really do. Um, to know that you guys get together every holiday, and just to know that when when we need to get together, we gather to handle business. That's motivation for me. It's like to know that in 2023, yes, families do still convene, they still discuss, they still meet, they still get together. It's important.
Yeah.
It really is.
I
And
didn't realize how um, different, because my family is different. I think you might agree with that. Um,
yes,
nobody's perfect. We all have our issues. We all have, our personalities. But my grandmother, just certain things she didn't allow, and it rolled over into adulthood. Things that we thought, wasn't much.
hmm,
And listen to my friends or even my other side of the family, looking at them, it's just a difference in how we were raised and how we operate now, and how it's all in love. Like,
yes,
someone can do something totally out the box. Everybody's family, have issues, but we still operate in love. We still have that respect level where we can be upset and operate in love, and that's a blessing.
absolutely it is. Absolutely. And um, shout out and kudos to Betty. Um,
Sure enough.
was it a week ago? She would have celebrated her birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Day
Uh,
before Valentine's Day.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. And I'm grateful for her. She has affected me. She has affected uh, Devon, my first grandson, walked over there. He learned how to walk over there. He hung out. Him and Betty was there was his hangout partner for a minute. So I'm grateful that she was a part of my
Yeah.
life as well. I'm grateful for yeah, hanging out with y'all. I really am. I've worked with several people in your family. It's just Tim, Kathy, Kim. Uh, I'm grateful. We also, just to give a little background on how I know Kelly, we also worked for the same employer for a minute. We were in different departments, but we worked for the same employer. Um, and don't want to say I abruptly left, but I did.
I did too.
It was what it was. Um, I cannot explain it. I don't want to bash the uh, employer. It just, when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I don't regret it. Not a day. Um, what or how important is rest and mindfulness to you?
On a scale of 0 to 10, 100. Rest, starting with rest, um, it affects you in so many different ways. Um, as I study habits and growth and mindset, rest is a big red flag. Without it, there's brain fog, there's stress hormones, you don't have clarity. And there's periods, in my life where it's rough to rest. It's hard to rest because there's so much going on. So a lot of times I have to reset myself, and I do that often intentionally. It's practically on my calendar too, because you're gonna need it all the time. So rest is important. It's number one with mindset. Um, Mindset controls everything in your life.
Yes.
Um, if, so when we think about how we were raised, a lot of our actions now is because of the mindset of the people that were around us. So our mindset is not just important to us; it's important for the whole circle, and it's important again to be intentional about having a healthy mindset and taking time to. I like to use I'm a gardener. I sound funny saying that. But
Yes.
so I love to garden. It's new. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it. And I think this is the fourth year. But um, I like to think about how I garden, how I have to pull out the weeds constantly. You could pull out a weed today, and tomorrow that weed could be back strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way with your mind. You have to make sure you're cleaning out the weeds of your mind, even your thoughts. Just being aware of when those negative thoughts come, to immediately change them, because it'll turn into a huge weed. And some of those weeds look like flowers. So you have to be careful of, not watering a weed. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. And I like when you said it's an immediate change. It's
Mhm.
don't wait. Don't come back to it later. Change it immediately.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, what does faith mean to you? And what does it do for you?
Faith. What does faith mean to me?
Mhm.
Faith is trusting God with everything, regardless of what it looks like and what it feels like. Um, Faith is making sure that you have the people around you that are in the same mindset of faith, because the people around you can cause doubt and fear. And no matter how strong you think you are, having the wrong people around you will diminish your faith.
Indeed.
You said, what has it done for me, or what is it? What was the second part?
What does it do for you?
What does it do for me? It keeps me in alignment, or brings
Mm,
me back to alignment a lot of times. um, it gives me a peace of mind because I don't have to worry about things that I would probably worry about. It changes the people that I'm around, because I have faith for other people when sometimes they don't have faith. and they do the same for me. Um, so faith is a foundation for me because without it, a lot of things would just crumble, or I wouldn't respond the way I need to, or act the way I need to. So for me, faith is action also. Doing the things that you're like, I don't know if when this is going to happen, but I'm going to keep moving in faith, you know. It's like that in business for me because business, especially being an entrepreneur, is nothing but faith. You don't know if
Yes,
these people buy this stuff. You don't know if people are going to listen to you. Entrepreneurship without faith is just a hobby. It's not really entrepreneurship because you're expecting things to happen. You're expecting God to put you in the right rooms, in the right positions, around the right people, and that's nothing but faith.
indeed, indeed. When as you were talking, I seen a faith garden, and it's like it's a garden. You're planting and planting those seeds in faith that they're going to come up as beautiful flowers or fruit or vegetables and things to eat or consume mindfully. So it's like, and for you not to know what you're doing, you have some of the most beautiful flowers in your garden. It's gorgeous. You're welcome.
I literally, when you said that, I thought about something because I literally pray over it like out loud. My neighbors probably think I'm nuts, but I walk around my land and I pray over my house, over my little flowers, over my little cucumbers.
Absolutely.
And sometimes stuff grows that I didn't even know I planted.
Hmm.
Like, but yeah, I literally practice faith over everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps to for me. It helps with my anxiety when
Mm-hmm.
I practice faith, and it's like um, we said. Sometimes you're around doubters. People don't understand faith often. It's, why are you doing that? Why are you going there? Why are you? Why are you? Why are you? I don't know. It's the faith that I have to not have control of my life, to know that God got me. And if He told me to do it, I got to do it.
And sometimes you may be the one that's doubting. So the people around you need to be able to have faith.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It goes both ways.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Because again, I doubt the front because I like the back. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Um, it, as you were talking as well about faith, it changes your outlook.
It
It
does.
it just gives you a different perspective. It's kind of like an aha moment in itself as you're walking um, through faith and in faith. Indeed,
And it changes how you respond to things
indeed.
because you're just in expectation. You're not falling out like I would normally be doing. I'm just like, okay, well, God, I trust you, and I leave it there. Or sometimes I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna happen, but God, But um, even in relationships, in my marriage, we went through some things where I had to say, I gotta have faith
Yes,
for both of us, or you gotta have, we gotta have faith together, or sometimes he's the one with the faith, but or even with your children, we talked about our children.
yes,
More faith would allow you not to have to stay up at night.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And it is it the maturity of when you give it to God and know you didn't gave it to Him and He gonna handle it. Let it go.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to that point with my children that I've given them to
Mm-hmm.
you, God. I'm gonna let it go. Children, grandchildren, and people.
Mm-hmm. In situations
Absolutely.
like that job we had.
Yes, 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 It- yes. Being here in the place that I'm in, it's like it's faith, y'all. Y'all have not a clue. It's faith, and I'm grateful. that much more every day.
And when you talked about the job, I thought about I really didn't leave on my own. I literally, I asked God, and then my friend made a little joke out of it. But I asked God, like, did you have to push me down the stairs to realize that like I literally fell down the stairs on the way to work, and then it was just a trickle down effect. It never went back. But it was just like, and her response was, "Well, were you listening to him standing up?" Because I knew a long time ago
Mm.
that I was supposed to leave, but it was good insurance. I was very unhappy there. I had a lot of stress there, but there were things that I was like, I got a kid in college, I got this, I got bills, I'm gonna transition slow. I had my own plan when God
Absolutely.
already had a plan,
Yes.
and I wasn't listening.
No. Yes. Again, what I just say, God will tell you what to do. Oh, wait a minute.
Right,
Oh, you tell me to do. Oh, okay. I got it.
right.
Literally every day. But talking about faith, it comes to a point where I literally ask God, what should I put on today? What do you
Mm-hmm.
want me to eat today? How should what earrings should I wear? What lipstick color? It has most days. And I'm grateful that I can literally have that conversation with my God. And he answers me.
Gives a new meaning to I trust him with my whole heart.
Indeed.
We say that, but do we really know what that means? Because
Yes,
that encompasses everything. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it does. And in addition to being able to rest in him, it's a you can sleep but not get a restful sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Resting in God, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you rest your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. It's just a different kind of rest.
And so, talking about faith, there's the other side of that where there's action. So we can pray for things, Lord, give me a job. But if you don't fill out the application, 9 times out of 10, the job not just gonna knock on your door. Lord, take the sickness away. Well, what are you putting in your body? Are you drinking
Yes,
water?
yes,
What are your habits? Are you moving your body? You're aching and sick and this and that. So you can believe God for something, but there's still some actions that you need to do to bring that into fruition a lot of times.
indeed.
Because you can sit there and have faith all day. You can pray 12 hours, and you know, we can meditate. We can do all these things, but God is telling you to do something. What is are you listening to what he's telling you to do so that you can get to where you're supposed to be
Indeed.
for your blessing? Yeah.
Indeed. Yes, absolutely. Um, absolutely. I'm gonna ask the next question, but it's another question that's gonna come after that. Um, expressions of gratitude for your parents or your legacy. What are they?
I'm thankful, I still have both of my parents. They've both been through cancer and all kinds of things. And I'm thankful that I have parents and I'm an only child. So I'm thankful that um the even though the decisions that they made weren't always the right decision, that I was always in their best interest. Because I know everybody don't have parents like that. And so I have gratitude that my parents are who they are. Like I know everybody think they have the best parents, but I really have the best parents. Even now, I call my dad and say, "That $20."
Yes.
At
Yes.
50 years old, and he gonna put it under the piano thing, like we hiding it from somebody, and everybody knows. But we just have that relationship where not just material things, but I can go to him and just really be honest. And
Yes.
I grew up not knowing how much I was like my dad, my temperament, very calm until we're not calm, very quiet until we're not quiet, and it's just a blessing to see him, age and live life and enjoy life. And the same thing for my mother. she's a woman of God, and I thank God for that, because a lot of times she's praying for me, and I don't know if she's praying for me, but she'll call me with, she just gets a feeling, and she's just gonna pray if I can go to her with anything, and I always have been able to do that. So I'm just thankful for the relationship that I have with my parents and the relationships I have with my daughter. Where you know, sometimes we can hang out like sisters. I'm still the mama, but we can hang out and really enjoy each other and really pour into each other.
Right.
I'm so proud of the person that she is, regardless of everything that has happened in her life. And to see her working in the field that she wanted to work in, something I never got a chance to do until I was 50. But just living her dreams and pushing through. I'm just really thankful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. As you were talking, I see you encouraging her to be herself, whatever that was, however she felt like she needed to get. Come on, come on, we're gonna go together. Come on, let's go.
Mhm.
Um, I, I would, um, as God was giving me that question, I did think about your parents, and I got overly grateful because it was like, man, it was a couple of years there. It was a lot.
It was rough. Yeah, they pretty much had cancer back to back, overlapping each other,
Yes,
and
yes.
it was a rough period. And in that period was when my grandmother passed away, when my uncle passed away, which was my father's best friend, who was living with them.
Oh,
I was falling downstairs. All this happened at the same time. So it was a really rough, scary time, and they were holding me up, you know, through it, and being strong as they could be, you know, with everything. And I'm just thankful that they're still here, because a lot of people went through what they went through and didn't make it,
indeed,
but they still
indeed.
had purpose on this earth,
That,
and I'm
that part.
thankful. Yeah,
Yes, yes, ma'am. When you say a woman of God, like a pillar, can get some prayers through that.
like for real,
Talk to
like
God. Yeah,
she lived what she preached. She
yes,
lived, and it's been that way as long as I can remember. She's
absolutely.
not just talking about it. She for
No,
real,
absolutely. And
and you know,
and still a person, still can laugh, still can joke, still
mhm,
um,
authentic. Yeah,
yes, very much so authentic. First 7 layer salad that I be trying to eat all the time. I think it is.
it is.
Yeah, it's her 7 layer salad. Every holiday I
That's,
think about her, I swear I do. It's be like, I need that salad in my life. Yes,
that's my mama.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm again grateful to know and see love, life, marriage, resiliency, and faith, and to just see and like you said, still having purpose. It's I love it. I love it. It's amazing. And thank you for sharing that.
Blessed to have parents, aunts, uncles that have all poured into me, and some of them are not that much older than me, but they all have poured into me and been there, and not even know that they was really there doing hard. Because I've always been a person nobody ever know what's going on with me, because I didn't tell nobody. But I went through some crazy stuff, and I knew that I could fall back on them even if I didn't.
Mhm.
And in knowing that, that made me stronger, because I'm like, well, you know, I got to worry about X, Y, Z. You know, even though I might not tell them about it, I'm not worried.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm blessed in that aspect to have family that um, is just a blessing from
Yes.
God. Yeah.
Got your back, your front, your side, you're up, you're down, you're around. They got you.
And I listen a lot. So when everybody's doing all the things, I'm just sitting there listening and watching. And I learned a lot from them, just in that, in the good times and the bad times. I can remember when my uncle passed away and we all went over my grandmother's house and we didn't know what was going on at first, but I was just, I knew something was wrong, but I just watched them all. And I watched my grandmother, how I know it was hard for her, but she was, a great example of how to trust God through even what you don't understand. So,
Mhm.
and how they, come together during times like that, no matter what is going on personally with them.
Yes. I know I met Betty later in life, but Betty's a cool cucumber to me too. She was cool till she wasn't. And when she wasn't, you knew it. And she was still cool.
You hear her often say, whatever.
Exactly.
Everybody
And
be like,
me,
and she's like, whatever.
absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Even as kids, you're like, this is happening, this is happening. Everybody just go to bed. That was the answer. Go to bed.
And rightfully so, because
Right.
how often have we been in a tizzy about something and just okay, go rest. And wake up,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole new
So those things
thought,
that I
it's a
thought
new
was like,
process.
or she would be like, I'm tired, go to bed. Should and I wouldn't dare say it, but I was thinking like, shouldn't you go to bed? I'm not tired. But these were life lessons that I didn't know were life lessons until, life started happening.
Yes,
So yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. To be able to go back and glean on that, giggle about it, and and
Right.
now repeat it to your daughter, her friends, and then be like, I'm telling you, don't waste your time trying to figure it out like I did.
Right.
Just go and apply it now.
Yeah.
What is your truth? What would you like people to know about you that's the truth or something that was misunderstood?
Hmm. My truth actually is this is who I've always been. The person that I grew up, that everybody saw, that everybody knew was the person that was filled with fear, filled with anxiety. I didn't know I had social anxiety until I was well in my 40s. Um, so the person that you see now is actually who I am. That's my truth. And sometimes I still shy away from stuff because it's just who I am. But I've learned that it's okay. My no is okay. My absence is okay. I'm there in love sometimes. But just being able to be true to myself and for people to know that they don't have to speak for me. People tend to talk for me because I never talked for myself. My friends, my family, they be like, "Oh, she's quiet. So this is Kelly. This is what she do. This is what." So because it's been happening for so long, and I would let them do it because I don't want to do it anyway. But this is who I am. I'm happy. Even in my marriage, a lot of things I didn't say, and now that I'm saying them, we have a better relationship because people can't change something that you didn't tell them was affecting you some kind of way.
Absolutely.
And also, me not opening up is not even fair to him, you know. So all along, the whole circle, I'm a better person because I can be who I am. I've traveled by myself recently. I would never have done that.
Nice.
Um,
Where you go?
I went to Atlanta by myself, and I went to Texas by myself. Both of them were conferences, but I was by myself.
Nice.
And it felt good to not totally rely on other people. I never plan anything. I was just like, oh, you plan it. Oh, you figure out what we're gonna do. Oh, because I've always put myself on the back burner. When my daughter left for college, I was so depressed. I literally didn't know what snacks I liked because I was always buying snacks for the house. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing without dropping somebody off every day, all day. I didn't know what I liked or who I was, what I wanted to do with my time. And that was the beginning of discovering myself.
Hmm.
And so my truth right now is I'm allowed to be myself, and I'm happy with being myself. I'm not afraid to show people who I am. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. Years ago, one of my friends' husband, I just happened to go over her house for something, and out of nowhere, he was like, "You need to be your extroverted self more often." I was like, "Who are you talking to? What you talking about?" He was like, "You actually fun. You actually funny. Like, why are you always quiet? Like, I like the extroverted Derosha. Don't be introverted anymore." And it was like, yeah, I can do that. I can be myself.
Mm-hmm. And be okay with being yourself. You know.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. It was one of your, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I went to Atlanta by myself for a conference. I was only there a day.
Mm-hmm.
But it was that same thought process, or it has been that same thought process to me. If you don't like you, who's supposed to?
And that may seem small to people, was maybe it is to them, but it was huge for me.
Me too. It was um, after actually breakup that I did not know what I wanted to eat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, which one? You don't have nobody else to refer to ask what they want to eat. So you literally got to sit here and figure out what you gonna eat, what you like, how you like it. Do you want it fried? Do you not? Wow,
Yeah,
like
I've roamed around the grocery store like I
exactly.
no.
Yes, and
And
to
that's just the small thing. But when you don't know, even with style, I've always been a brown, black, neutral, dark colored person. Colored, as far as clothes, and it was because I didn't want to be seen or heard. I thought I just didn't like colors, and now you may find me in Walmart with green lipstick, because and I ain't going nowhere afterwards, but
absolutely,
the Dollar Tree.
yes,
But I just feel good being able to be myself. I, my hair, I went natural, like I like me the way I am.
yes, yes,
So not caring what other people think or how I feel people view me was a big thing.
yes,
My voice is typically, softer than most. So I was just like, I talk funny. I used to stutter when I was a kid, taller than most people. I had all these things that I was dumbing myself down for.
mm,
Um, and now I can just be me and be okay with being me and actually love me.
absolutely, and
Because
set the
you
room
can love
on fire
yourself.
being you.
Yeah. Because not
Yes,
only are you limiting your love for yourself, you're limiting your love for other people.
absolutely, absolutely. That's actually where live love comes from. Learning to love yourself so unapologetically that it infects someone else. To learn how
And
to
when
love
you do
yourself.
that, you'll start doing things to improve yourself. Like I changed the way I eat. I changed the way I think about things, even the small things, like you said. You know, I don't care about people what I drive, what people think of what I drive. I have my minivan. I don't have no kids in it, but I will jump in that little van and do everything I need. I load it up with flowers every
Yes.
weekend if I want to, and brush off the dirt and keep going. But it's just I don't care what people think. And it's like I'm just so surprised when I think back of all the years that I allowed myself to have, even relationships with men. I didn't have a voice. I just was like whatever. And then the craziest things they would do, I still didn't have a voice. I would just hurt on the inside, and eventually you explode, and then everybody think you're crazy. But it's just like you have to learn to be okay with being you and have a voice in the positive things and the negative things, and learn how to respond to negativity without being negative. I do
Mm,
that very well. Like I'm just, and sometimes my husband is like, I don't know if you're upset or, and I'm like, just don't do that again.
yes,
Like,
exactly.
so because it's not worth all the things that I have to go through to take myself to a negative space.
I agree.
I tell people a lot, I can't care. They're like, you don't care. I don't. I can't care because when I do, you won't like me. So
Absolutely.
I cannot care. It affects me in a very bad way that I don't want to experience and you don't want to experience either. So I
Yes,
can't care.
yes.
Even when I
Um,
was working, my supervisor would call me in the office and be like, "You got another call. They said you don't care." I don't, ma'am. I don't. They knew what they were supposed to do. Do it. I can't care. How can I go back to my desk?
fact, fact. And it's that I call her Ferocia. That if I don't like her and she doesn't like you, so if she gets out, then everybody is gonna be bad for everybody. So I don't allow her to get out. In addition to that, I can't stress. It literally will kill me if I stress.
Yeah,
So
it costs you too much. It's just
it
not
costs
worth
me too much.
it.
It's not worth it. I'm not going to do it. I'm either going to walk away and be done with it because you don't want me to care. You
And I
absolutely
don't
don't.
care.
Mm-mm. Not if it's going to
Yeah.
cost me my life. No, no, not for stress. No, absolutely not. Uh, how is vegan life?
Vegan life is good. So I have my challenges where I got to pivot and get back on and do the right things. But I can honestly say if you try it for 2 weeks, you will experience um, so many things outside of just physical, your
Hmm.
thoughts, your sleep, your skin. So when I first went vegan, I broke all out and I was like, I'm allergic to being vegan. Really, I was allergic to cheese that I was eating all my life. And so now if I eat some cheese, I break out.
Mm.
All kinds of issues. So my body was rejecting it, just getting it all out. But literally, my skin changed. I think my color changed. I was just like, I'm lighter, I think. But my hair was different, the texture, everything. So you don't know how it can change your life until you really do it. So I did it because I was pre-diabetic, and then I went to the doctor one day and I was diabetic, and they were like, this is a lifelong thing. You're gonna have to do. You're gonna take this metformin for the rest of your life, or maybe insulin later. And I have some family members that have experienced it, and it's bad. One of my cousin's best friend lost her leg. I mean, it was just a whole lot of things in my head that like I don't want to live like that. So I joined this program that said you can possibly rid yourself of it, and I just did everything that was in the program. Like I just cold turkey stopped eating everything. I stopped doing the sugar. I just implemented everything because I was so fearful of having diabetes. And 3 months, 4 months later, the doctor couldn't believe my numbers.
Hmm.
And I had stopped taking the metformin 2 months before I even went to the doctor. And they told me I would never be able to get it was, getting bad. I started having neuropathy in my feet. I started having memory loss, like serious memory loss.
Hmm.
Um, and tingling and numbness in my hands. I was experiencing all of that. All of that went away, and I have not experienced it since.
Nice, nice, nice.
So vegan for me, and really whole food plant based, because vegan can be very unhealthy.
Hmm.
So vegan is just the absence of animal products.
Hmm.
That means you can still have sugar, you can still have all the things that are not good for your body. But having a whole food, plant-based life will change everything about even your attitude,
Absolutely.
because you feel better, you sleep better.
Absolutely. I would say my attitude change started when I changed my food choices. That's when
Mm-hmm.
it was like, wait a minute. I don't have to take this medicine. I don't have to be angry all the time. I don't have to hurt all the time. I can say, Kim told me this recently that I taught her that no is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But once it gets kind of embedded, it's like, oh, no, no, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. It Once you get to better, don't you want to go to best?
And then what kind of fool am I to go back to what made me sick? I have to ask myself that out loud sometimes because I've
Yes.
you want a piece of chicken or whatever. So I have to
Yes.
ask myself, like, is it worth going back to what you know can happen?
Yes. Milk and cheese were dairy was the first food I eliminated. And it's like as a kid, me and my brother would go through a gallon of milk a day. As
Mhm.
a
And I
kid,
put cheese on everything, like everything. I couldn't
absolutely.
even imagine what I was going to eat because I wasn't a vegetable person. I don't really like vegetables. I could drink water. That's the only plus I had. But then they said drink at room temperature, and I was like, well, I just failed again because I don't like room. But what I started doing is I started trying different things, and some of them I didn't like, and I didn't force myself to eat the things that I just did not like.
Okay.
But the things that were okay or whatever, I just kept eating it, and next thing you know, I liked some of it, and the ones I didn't, I just didn't eat. But for me, when I look up the food and it says it helps your eyes, it does this, it does that, then I'm like, oh, I gotta eat that
Exactly.
because either I'm gonna eat the broccoli or the carrots or whatever, or I'm gonna
Yeah.
take this pill. Which one you want? Eat
Exactly.
the eat the
Eat.
vegetable.
Eat. And it's
Next thing
Sunday.
you know, you're actually gonna like it anyway.
Exactly. And even if you don't want to chew, because some days I don't want to chew, blend it up. Blend it up.
There's so
And
many
drink.
options. And I'm still not a cooked vegetable fan. I rather eat raw vegetables. But sometimes I
Mm,
just get tired of chewing it. But like you said, put it in, make you a green smoothie.
yes, absolutely. That was I maybe that will have to be we'll do another episode or podcast on when doctors tell you what you'll never be able to do or never be able to accomplish. Yeah,
Hmm.
okay. Mm. That's why
That's
it's
yeah. You're
yeah,
not doing what you yeah. And they so even my doctor, I was telling them, I was writing notes for him. Like, this is what you need to do.
exactly.
'Cause he was like,
Exactly.
what are you doing? I'm
Yes.
like, how do you not know this stuff?
Yes.
But
That's why it's amazing to me that I'm working where I'm working again. Cause it's like I'd had a
yeah,
definite upgrade to y'all.
because
But
even mental health, um, you take that sugar out of your diet, your mental health will change almost overnight. I promise. It's a
it will.
fact.
It is. It is. It is. You'll find yourself not as volatile. You'll find yourself not
Mhm,
when stressors do come. You can't calm yourself and react or not. You
mhm.
can't. What we're eating, it really does matter what you're eating and how it allows your body to function. If your body is not functioning properly, it's probably what you're eating.
Or what you're not eating. One of the
Exactly.
things, so the program that I went to is called Farm to Table with Lisa A. Smith. Look her up. Life changer. So one of the things she says is, does diabetes run in your family? Or do you have diabetes running your family because nobody runs? So we just associate all this stuff with, oh, so and so has diabetes, this high blood sugar, high blood pressure, this. But is it because you all eat alike?
Right.
You all don't exercise? Or, whatever lifestyle. So sometimes it's lifestyle things that we just feel like we have to have. You don't have to take blood pressure for the pills for the rest of your life. You don't have to take diabetes. There was a lady in my class that had brain cancer and went back, and there was no brain cancer after changing her food.
Yes, absolutely. There's been more and more scientific research that shows that your body functions better when you don't put a lot of meat and byproducts and those foods that we eat that are not necessarily made to be edible.
Like milk.
Yeah.
We're drinking cow's milk.
And I ain't no
That milk
cow.
is the baby cow.
I am not. And we wonder, and again, like you said, well, when my stomach bothered me, or grandma had, I got diabetes. We just got this. They run in our family. No, it's not. It's somebody needs to be addressed. Somebody has to break the curse.
And being okay with being excluded from the meal.
Yes.
Being okay with bringing your little plate,
Yes.
eat off your plate because they don't want. You could try to bring a dish, but they probably don't want it.
Yes. Yes.
But being okay with people like, what is that? What
Mhm.
hey,
Mhm.
be
Yes.
okay.
And it's fine because living love calls you to,
I love
um,
that phrase. Live, love,
yes, it calls you to be separated sometimes, and it's okay because
and be okay with it, and learn how to include yourself. Bring the dish. Bring the, ask what's on the menu. I went to a conference. One of the conferences I went to, I had nothing to eat the first day. I'm like, oh, good. All y'all got is burgers.
mm,
And then I saw this little lady walking her own little, covered meal, and I was like, they made you. She said, yeah, all you gotta do is tell them you don't eat that. And I was like, I know that. I learned
yes,
that.
yes,
But in different environments, you don't want to be in,
right,
whatever. But figure it out. And then anybody who's thinking about trying it, definitely start with increasing your water because it changes your palate.
hmm,
Next thing you know, things that you don't typically eat will taste better. I promise. I didn't like none of that stuff. And now I can, eat salad without dressing.
yes, yes,
I don't, I can eat things without butter. I can eat corn on the cob with no butter. I can eat because I taste the corn on the cob because I don't have all of the salt, oil, and sugar embedded on my tongue.
hmm,
So I can taste things. But start with water and just get in a community or get a buddy that can help you through it. That can, you can do it together. Or find that there's plenty of communities that will do it.
indeed, indeed. And I thank you. The last question, and after this question, and your answer, please um, give your contact information and your titles. Okay. The last one, and what is something that's deeply personal, even secret, that you would like to let the community know about you?
Secret.
Hmm.
You want me to tell secrets?
So you kind of said it already that this is you. So if you knew me 25 years ago, you probably didn't meet the
Mm.
authentic me.
I will say one of the things that I don't talk about that I will be talking about in my upcoming book is as a young adult, I had a lot of secret relationships because I knew that the people that I was in relationships with didn't match. the person that I was showing people that I was. Because I was actually broken, full of fear, allowing all kind of things that didn't serve me. Um, but in front of my peers and my family, I was just this quiet, put together person. But really, I wasn't at all. So there was a lot of things that happened. Like one thing I've never talked about that's in the book is being attacked in my own house, being too embarrassed to tell somebody because they would be like, "Who is he? Why would you have him? What you know?" And so just holding all those things in piled on the fear, and I can look back and see how fear just took over my life in my religion, as far as my faith, as far as being a parent, just being my jobs. I had a lot of different jobs because I would leave the job thinking like I'm so miserable here, I'm leaving. And then I would go do something completely different. I went from working in a dentist office to working in a plant. From the plant to the office, to this to that, all these different things because I was searching for peace, searching, trying to look like I was doing the right things when behind the scenes there was a lot of things off and a lot of pain that it caused me. And unfortunately, a lot of things that my daughter had to go through that she didn't have to go through, seeing me being so sad or whatever. So that's one of the things that I'm grateful for now, that I can look back and I can say, I was messed up. But because of the grace of God, because of the prayers of my family, because the love for my children, for my daughter, I had to keep going for her. I had to keep going because I knew it would break my parents I had times where I don't want to live anymore. Nobody would ever know that. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. But it was God that kept me. Only God that kept me because I had crazy thoughts. And just to know that um, you can be healed from those things. And you not only can be healed, you can learn how to deter those thoughts that may surface again or those feelings that may surface again. And just be who God purposed you to be.
Indeed. Thank you. I am too a survivor of my suicidal mind, and I'm so grateful that God loved me more than I loved myself at the time. So, living love through this life that I have no control of is so fantabulous that I keep putting it back on God, like, yes, God, thank
Mm.
you that you um, didn't let me succeed. Not with that,
And knowing that it's nothing but God. Because
nothing.
I had nothing left. Nothing left. And it was only God, if I, really tell the story, it was only God that person didn't really hurt me.
Yeah, absolutely. I thank you. Author of how many books?
So I have a workbook, two journals, and some notebooks that I create. And I'm working on my story. So the name of my book is The Rain, Private Pains and Secret Sorrows. So it's just talking about a lot of things that happened and how I overcame them and how God can take somebody else through it. So I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm a life coach. So I have Grace to Grow Beyond Fear is the name of the company. Um, I have a upcoming workshop coming up, similar to the workshop that you took with us. It's an
Nice.
extended version of that.
Okay.
And we have a lot of things going on this summer. Um, as far as events and things like that. So make sure you follow us, join our email list. The website is www.grace graced graced the number two grow.com. And we're just expecting great things. Previously, I was a virtual assistant, and we're rebranding to a virtual delegation company. So there's a testimony behind that. Sometimes you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but it's for a greater purpose. So I ran the business. I've experienced a lot of things in the business, and I know how to help entrepreneurs delegate and audit their system so that they're ready for a virtual assistant. And then I have HR degree, so I also help with hiring and onboarding and all that. So we also have that going on. So we have a lot of things going on. Book sales. We're participating in Neighborhood Day, which is in August all over the city of Detroit. There will be events, and we'll be having a back to school event. So I'm also working on a conference, a women's release weekend, where we can come together and get some stuff out and get some stuff in.
Yes.
So I thank you for this opportunity. It's been amazing. It was a good session. Made me again realize how thankful I am for what God is doing in my life right now.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, it was when I attended your conference. Was that last year?
Work, yeah, yeah. Year
Workshop.
before last.
Workshop.
Yeah, it was year before. Remember, it was before COVID. So
Oh, okay. Man, time
yeah,
is not waiting for anybody.
yeah.
Um, there was a point in the workshop where I want to thank you because I was depressed. I was
Mm,
in crisis. I know I don't look like it, but I was. And there was a point during that workshop that the following morning I was I was getting ready for work. Didn't like my job. And it was like, ugh, I hate my job. I don't want to do this. I don't want to put no clothes on. I don't want. And it was like, wait a minute. You stop. This is not your life. Be intentional about who you are, who God made you. You better put that mascara on. You better put that lipstick on. And as I
mhm.
was putting on my lipstick, I was repeating your saying. And could you please say it?
Yes. So show up, be intentional, and expect great things. I say that out loud to myself multiple times a day.
Indeed. And as I was putting that and then putting that lipstick on, and it was like, you show up. You be intentional. You have to expect great things.
Hmm.
You serve a great God. How are you not going to expect things? This little temporary, whatever you're going through, get over it, snap out of it. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So I thank you. I thank you for that workshop. I thank you for that opportunity. Whenever the conference come, please let me know. I would love to be there to
Absolutely.
pour and get poured into.
Hmm.
Oftentimes we forget that we do have to pour. And
Hmm.
when
And we
we,
do have to release away
absolutely,
from your normal environment.
yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's important. It's important for your growth. It's important for your faith. Um, it's just important, very much so. I thank you so much for coming into the safe zone. I thank you so much for sharing. If you guys need to contact her, her information is listed in the comments. You are more than welcome to contact me for her information. Um, I thank God for what He's doing to and through you.
and we
Much,
have children resources too. My latest book, which I forgot to mention, is a devotional for children, um,
Nice.
ages 3 to 6, and it's using the alphabet, so they get to learn the alphabet. There's a story that they can relate to, that the parents can spend time with the scripture and the letter. You can find the letter. So there's an activity, and then there's a prayer. So when a part of my purpose, because of my childhood and the things I went through, I want to also reach the children, because that's when we need to pour into them so they can have something to stand on as they go through their life. So there's some free resources on the website as for adults and children, as well as things you can purchase.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
my absolute pleasure. Thank y'all so much for attending this episode of Davidson D, the Safe Zone. There will be more nuggets of information coming, more consistency from me. I thank y'all for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Live loved and see you soon. Say it again.
Thank you for having me as well.
My pleasure. My pleasure. See y'all.